What's the procedure? What do we do, people?
The phones are dead.
Oh, how did that happen?
It's out in the hall.
No, we don't know that. The smoke could be coming through an air duct.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
What?
GM Farcaster. I wanted to start with that video, but it was a little tough to coordinate there. GM Farcaster. It is February 5th, 2024, and you are here with Adrienne and Nounish Prof for 21 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And we started with the It's Happening video that Dan so lovingly included us in. And it's been pointed out that I was Angela. And was I offended by that? No. Not offended at all. Wouldn't have been my choice, but I don't care. I was just happy to be included. I don't know. I would rather be like Kelly. If you know, you know. But
yeah, obviously Kelly.
It's just my name. But I thought it was. I didn't care. I was just happy to be included. I thought it was hilarious, and what a great way to start us off. So Friday when we were chatting with Linda. Adrienne was already knew. She's like, no, there's a chat and we're in there. And I'm like, I missed it. Somehow that group chat missed me completely. And then I saw it and I was very excited. So video is the big news from last week's Ship Fest of many things. So we now have video up to 5 minutes directly on Warpcast, which is very exciting for us, obviously, so that we can drop some clips to you all, which we're always saying we're gonna do, and now we have a better incentive to actually, do it. So we're gonna get some cool clips.
We would have done it. We would have done it sooner, but the Warpcast gods hadn't given us the ability. So
exactly. That's the excuse we're using now. But we're so excited. So that was a lot of fun, and there were some crazy videos that came out. I'm going to end with another one at the very end here. They were a lot of fun. I was dropping videos live from the Drake concert. If you were looking in the music channel, you can see a few clips. That was a lot of fun. So, and I normally wouldn't have done that, but it was just because I could, I did, and it was a lot of fun. So, Adrienne, how you feeling about video?
I love it. It's almost like you planned. It's almost like you knew video was coming and you decided to go to you planned the concert to show off.
That was it. Yeah, that was exactly it. Drake and I coordinated and we're like, I hear the video's coming out that Friday. Can you do a show in Tampa? That'd be great. And J. Cole, by the way, that was the bigger reason for going. For those who may have issues with Drake. It was really fun. I was very excited. And I have a comment in here. Wow, who knew Prof was a party animal? It wasn't that big of a party. I was with my son and I think what people think a Drake concert is and what it actually is are two different things. Like it's actually mostly screaming teenage girls and their moms. So that was pretty much what was going on. My son's a big J. Cole fan, so that was his big motivation. So anyway, so that was that. But Adrienne, the reason we have these whales behind us, would you like to explain what happened next once video launched?
Video broke the internet. So
video broke the internet.
So video came obviously much anticipated. I think the number one requested feature that everyone's been saying. And Dan has been kind of pushing back saying it's not net new behavior. He's looking so much for like the novel behavior on Warpcast and Farcaster to create product market fit. Like, why am I going to leave Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube for video? Not going to happen. But he promised by end of year. He said end of year 2024 we'll get video.
He said it right here.
GM Farcaster drops all the news, and we got it in February. What? So
I know, that was crazy. February 2nd, not even end of February. February 2nd.
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow! And on that note, like it's been crazy. They've been shipping like mad. So let's break down some of these casts. New feature. So this was the official announcement. New feature on Warpcast video. Everyone can view videos today on mobile and web, gradually rolling out video uploads, starting with the earliest FIDs. So if you had, I'm not sure what they went up to. I think at first might have been 10,000. Gradually rolling out video, up to 5 minutes supported. More improvements coming soon. Be respectful with video uploads. Trolling will result in a nerf from me. So no trolling Dan, but it did lead to this sort of downtime. So we're sporting the Twitter whale from way back in the day when things used to go down. You'd see basically this come up on Twitter. So I thought this was a fun approach to this. And then I loved this post by Kyle. Okay, I have to update app again. And Varun's response was, I have some unfortunate news for you this ship day eve. so, so it was a really funny post where he just kind of goes on and on. I can't take it anymore. It's can devs do nothing is the new phrase, because there's so much more. They kept shipping. So we also have a note from Dan regarding Warpcast team priorities when everything was sort of having some challenges. Stability and uptime, feed quality, especially with off-topic casts and channels. So this was really about the spam that sort of went insane last week as well. Frames and any other bugs. And so, and they're on it. They're on it. It's been they've been shipping like crazy. One of the things they shipped also just this past weekend was new features for channel host. Pin. As a host, pin as many casts to the top of your channel as you want, announcements, a frame, or highlight someone in your channel. Ban from channel. Prevent users' casts from appearing in the channel feed. Note users' casts unaffected at a protocol level, just the channel feed. Which I want to just double click on that for a second. That's like, really kind of special if you think about it. If you ban somebody on a platform like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they're gone, they're done, unless that ban is revoked. In this case, you're just banning them from a channel. And the feed is their cast is still going to be existing in other places and on the protocol level. So it really kind of, to me, is a good way to strike that balance of we need to moderate and curate things in a way that makes sense, especially in channels, and make sure they're on topic and that kind of thing, but also not taking away someone's ability to say what they want to say. So what do you think about all those things? Thoughts? It's a lot of stuff I just dropped.
Video is like the least, like, I don't even know where to begin over this weekend. Yeah, so just to riff on what you're talking about, the channel, like, yes, I mean, at the end of the day, especially like I'm here because I'm an idealist, I realized. And
a lot of us are. A lot of us, and here's how you'll know. If you were airdropped an OG token before permissionless went, and you're still holding it, when there's a floor of 2.6 ETH, you might be an idealist. So there you go.
There's like no amount of ETH that you can give me to get rid of that OG.
I don't think so either. And it's really funny. I had that realization as I was looking at the floor going, I really just wish I had bought some that were for sale earlier, just to have, then I would have sold some, but I'm not selling the one I got airdropped. Not happening.
But you're right. I mean, but one thing we haven't really tested is kind of, decentralized social. It's censorship resistant. If you get banned on, one platform can ban you, there's always another client. We can't really test that out. We believe it, right? You're kind of like, that's faith right now. First of all, no one has really built up a huge following, gotten banned, and then taken their audience somewhere else now. Like, right. I would love the day. I want the day to see that. I've actually somewhat been tempted to just build up a huge following on Warpcast, just so I can be the one to then turn evil and get myself banned, and then build a whole new client just to test the freedom
just for the experiment.
It's
maybe do that with like an alt.
Maybe
we'll help you. We'll help you get there.
But I want to test. Funny. I really want to test these boundaries. But the channel, as channel hosts, we can ban people from our channels. But guess what? You can permissionlessly create your own channel.
Absolutely. And it can be I got banned from the blah, blah, blah channel. So this is my channel. I mean,
we have GM Farcaster channel and we kick you out because you're spamming our channel. You want to go create GM Farcaster, too?
I hate GM Farcaster.
Power to you. And if you spam so much that Warpcast nerfs you and kicks you out, go to another client. So
go to Flink, go to Supercast. By the way, tried Supercast this weekend. So when all the this was a really fun thing to kind of have this happen where, Warpcast was really just getting flooded with so many I think it was the video overload, but plus a ton of signups because they had opened up free signups again to so many different places that it just got overloaded. And I was like, let me go check out Supercast. So I did jump on there, Woj, and really cool. Loved it. I love that I can have more than one account. And Team is coming soon where we could be sharing the GM Farcaster account, which I think that's, a pretty cool thing, which I launched just recently because I was like, I better do that before somebody else does. I had no intention of doing that. I was just going to use the channel. And then I'm like, probably there's a lot of people here now. I better take care of that. So that was, it was fun to try that out. I hadn't had the desire or the need to do that yet. And then the need arose and I was like, you know what, this is a good time for me to go explore another client. So Supercast, go check it out. Especially if you're a power user, it does have a monthly fee. So it's not, not everyone's gonna head that way, but it's a good backup especially if you have more than one account. If you have a brand account and a personal account, that might be a good approach. So I wanted to mention that. Okay, let me grab a few other things here. We've had a lot going on. So active badge update, increasing the requirement to 400 followers. So updated badges will roll out. They rolled out this weekend. So now you do need 400 followers and along with some other requirements to have an active badge. And sometimes that comes with some benefits. And also frames are now privacy preserving, which is good news. Your IP address is no longer visible to the frame authors. All requests proxied via Warpcast backend servers to keep your clients private. A few caveats. This change just went live. There may be bugs. Clicking a button will expose your username, but not IP. So this is great. Definitely heading in some good directions. We also have text input. Frames can now ask for text input. You may need to restart mobile a few times to get this frame to work. I did have to do that a couple times, but it was really fun. But, then, some people found new ways to do things. But Varun did mention also, we've designed, there was a question about, can I get rugged on frames? And let me just say yes and no. Frames is designed so it's nearly impossible in Warpcast. Frames only interact with the Farcaster account keys, the EDDSA keys, and never with Ethereum keys, ECDSA keys. Frames are sandbox and can only render markup, making it very difficult to jailbreak. Do you have anything to add to that? Because that's a little more technical than my experience. In theory, you can't be rugged by a frame.
Right.
You can be socially engineered, however.
But you can be rugged, right? There's always we can do a separate kind of deeper dive if people are interested, and maybe we bring a guest on to really go into the technical details.
Great. Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, there's a billion reasons why frames are very secure. And Dan wrote a thread on Twitter, I think you pulled up in the links, talking about the different cryptographic signatures and all the reasons why frames is super secure. But at the end of the day, as soon as you're in the I'll call it the read write of internet, when you can pass information back and forth, someone's going to ask you for private information and you're going to give it to them.
And here it is. And here it is. S-Bucks, seed bucks. And then I did appreciate Dan Rosario here. I really hope this doesn't become the next trend. And yes, it is. Where this is asking for your seed phrase. Enter your seed phrase to get 1 billion S-Bucks per 1 ETH in wallet. And it goes on from there. Don't do that. Like that should be the don't do that channel. Don't do that.
And listen, when Warpcast was small, right? When we were much smaller one, and you kind of felt like, okay, everyone's kind of smart enough. You had, it's kind of there was a funny cast about that, about the smart ETH people are all on Warpcast, and then now we're entering seed phrases. But it's an immediate block, if you want to know who to block, find it. But it's a little disheartening and sad.
Yeah, it's so there's, I think for a lot of us who've been here a while, it's we're having the moment we thought we were going to have when it went permissionless. where everyone was like, brace for, everything. And it's like, oh, then nothing happened. And this is that moment. And it's, it's a little, it's a little adjustment period, But, uh, I saw people talking about, oh, well, they created a fresh wallet and then entered that seed phrase, all that. But somebody's going to do, just not understand, not think about it, just enter it. So it's not a meta I want to see continue. I'll just put it that way. I won't be playing around with it, even just as an experiment with a fresh wallet. I'm not going there. So text input now available. Proceed with caution. That's all I'll say. Proceed with caution.
There are some fun, but listen, you need to have text input if frames are going to be the rich interfaces where you can transact and do all the different verbs that we need to do on the internet.
All the different verbs. I do like that. And I do appreciate the nouns as well. So there's, we've had a lot of new people. I've seen some really good casts from some of the OGs and people who've been here for a little bit. One of them was from Jess Loss, and this was almost a week ago. And then I did say, hey, we should really probably get this pinned in the welcome channel because it was really good. It's a nice thread of 6 tips to get the most out of Farcaster. It has a lot of really just good information. And then I really love this by Kristen. I've been thinking about how to enjoy Warpcast without the agitation that comes with new commotions. I love the way she phrased this as well. Love the new features and we'll use them. Though the buzz can sometimes degrade my feed experience. What has helped? Browsing cozy channels like Costco and Sardines, which I think is hilarious, fewer casts per day, and unfollow high spam. And then she goes on, channels for a while, e.g. Frames, had too many recast them and things, etc. So I followed Frames devs instead. So finding sort of the things that vibe with you a little bit better. And then Emmanuel also had some good tips here and just some basics about Farcaster is the protocol, Warpcast is the client. Think of Farcaster as Italy and Warpcast as your tour guide. And I kind of loved that framing, if you will. Framing. So I think there's been, some really good advice there that hopefully we can amplify a little bit and help, those who are sort of new to the ecosystem to not bring, necessarily the same behavior that they use on other platforms over to Warpcast, like, sort of find their own authentic self here would be great. And one of the things we've been talking about doing, which we were talking about in December, is doing these little mini, what are warps, what are, what's wow, what's all the culture, what's all the basics. And we're hopefully getting going on those very soon and get some of those out to kind of help some of the newbies because we've had that by request actually from somebody I know well. So
a little how-to Farcaster because people immediately, right? We're getting a lot of just kind of crypto Twitter,
right?
Influx,
same behavior,
and people are immediately, it's crypto Twitter over here, and we have something to say about that.
Yes and no. It's better. Don't mess it up. So I think about the OG NFT, which everyone's been asking about. So just to clarify that, Dan was also getting a lot of questions. I'm getting a bunch of questions about Farcaster OG NFT. It was an NFT that all users on Farcaster with an active badge at the time of Farcaster going permissionless received. If you had signed up but stopped being active, you didn't get it. If you were using the app but didn't have the active badge, you didn't get it. Farcaster requires proof of work. And I loved that statement because it's true. It really does require proof of work to have this. It's not, so I think if you're looking at Warpcast and Farcaster and thinking, oh, this is the place where they're just going to drop me money and that's your only motivation, rethink it because that's probably not going to happen.
That was my favorite cast. That is my number one favorite cast. I was going to say of the weekend, but maybe of the year.
Ever?
Farcaster requires proof of work.
I love that.
It is, and I go back to, I remember a conversation I had with Dan when I first joined because I was like, oh, I'm going to join, and how difficult it was. I don't know if you remember this, to find information about Farcaster.
Yeah.
I like, okay, and I'm the type of person that wants to know what's happening under the hood. So I'm looking for what's on chain, what's off chain, how does this work? And you'd go to like the Farcaster main website, and there was like no information except Varun's sufficiently decentralized blog post. And I read it,
Yeah.
and I read it like 3 times, and I absorbed it. And I remember saying something. And at some point, I think I had said something to Dan about like, oh, it'd be better if there was an easier version of that, like an easier to grasp.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, yeah, but everyone who's here kind of took the time to read it
Working.
and understand it. And I was like, oh, I take it back. I mean, at some point you want it to be easier, but it's
Maybe not now. Yeah, it didn't need to
Yeah.
be when it was still in test flight. Probably not.
yeah.
Right. It was even harder then. Yeah, there was a lot of barriers to entry. You needed an invitation. You had to be on test
It's
flight.
like,
but
yeah, it's like the
yeah.
good type
So
of
there was work.
gatekeeping. I'm such an
Yeah,
anti-gatekeeper because I'm,
totally.
like be inclusive, but it's, I don't know. And there's some barrier
Proof
to
of work.
entry is a good thing.
Yeah, it was proof of work, and I loved that framing. My other favorite cast of all time, Cassie's "The shipping will continue until QDAO is reached." I've thought that in my head many times over the past few days. We are out of time. Is there anything major that I missed? I'm sure there is.
I think just on the fail whale, and which we didn't, and obviously it's purple. And if you're new, purple is the color of Warpcast. And okay, our chat is the funniest thing, and I wish I wasn't on a live show so I could sit here and just hang out with you guys in chat because you all are so funny. Okay.
Hey, speaking of, that's what we forgot.
Yeah,
we're giving away. Yeah, go ahead.
And all I just want to say is fail whale. We have it as our background because it's in some ways is like a momentous time. There's so much traffic on Warpcast that we can't keep up, but it is. These guys have been working like around the clock in war rooms, trying for stability and keep it up. So just not Dan and Varun, but all the engineers and developers. So thank you to Warpcast team for the kind of tireless effort around. I know they've been working all weekend.
Totally been working all weekend. It's been incredible. Yeah, the gates are open. They're open. But proceed with caution. And that's it for us. But we've got a big announcement. So go ahead, Adrienne. We got a big announcement. What are we doing today? What's going on?
Oh, so
you made this happen.
Okay, so yes, a week ago was Frame Friday. Last Friday was Video Friday, which rolled out to early users. So it's being rolled out to early users because we don't want to fully break the internet. So it's kind of a slower rollout. So we have early access to video to 5 of our audiences we can give out. Do you not have video?
Yeah. If you do not have access to video, so if your FID number is a little higher and you don't have access to be able to upload video, how do we want them to enter? Just make a note in the chat right now that you would like to be entered.
If you're live streaming, yes. Drop us a note, and we usually do
we'll do a little wheel.
Spinner.
A little spinner wheel, and we'll and I think what we'll do if we don't have enough in the chat, more than 5 who don't have video would like it, maybe we'll also do something in our channel as well. So if you're in there, we're looking, just note, yes, enter me, or I don't have video, yes, me, something like that, and we'll make sure we enter you. If you have a higher FID, yeah, I'm thinking if you're in the 20,000, you probably don't have it yet. So those are the folks that we're looking to reward. So make sure you do that. And that is it. I did want to go out with another video, but I think what we're going to do is like end the show and then I'll pull it up for if you're hanging on the stream.
And I just have to say, if you have a high FID, it does not mean you're a bad person.
No, it's not your worth.
It does not mean
your FID is not your worth. We love you anyway.
It does not mean you are not worthy of love and care and compassion. You are smart. It just means you signed up later than other people.
Stuart Smalley. You're good enough. You're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like you.
And you
continuing on with our cable access vibe.
And you were all based in early.
And you're all based in early. And with that, oh God, with that, Thank you all. Hang out for a minute. We're gonna like officially end this part, but give us a minute and I'm gonna put the other video up that you all have to see because it's amazing. Give me 1 second, but we're gonna just stop this. So goodbye. We will see you Wednesday. More GM Farcaster. Bye bye and